Today we're going to go over the 4C points. When I say 4C points, this doesn't mean that there's 4 C points. This means there's 4 categories which are considered the C points. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about what are C points. C points are the points that connect to the reservoir or the sea, right, where it pools, and it controls the quantity. So it controls the quantity of what 4 C's? The chi, the blood, food, and marrow. And from here, you can remember it as that there are 4 chi points, 3 blood points, and you can consider them as chi and blood goes together, right? So it's 4, 3. Chi you can consider as yang. Blood is, of course, yin. So yang comes first and yin. So it's 4, 3. And then for food and marrow, you can think of it as we take in food and then the body produces marrow. And then, well, either way, it's 2 and 2. Okay? So there are 4 chi points. There are the stomach 9, which is in front of the SCM. Ren 17, which is at the 4th intercostal midline between the 2 nipples. I believe you recall this from a different, it has the other categories, Ren 17's on. And then there's Do 15 and then Do 14. So if you see Do 15, it is the midline nape of neck. Nape of neck is here. 0.5 soon from Do 16 below C1. So there's 7 C's as we know, right? So if you see Do 16 right here, it's 0.5 soon down from Do 16. That's where Do 15 is. And it's below C1. Okay. Now we have Do 14, which is actually at C7. Or you can say below. These 4, you're going to just have to memorize. I don't really have a way for you guys to remember these. I just remember them as that they're usually around the neck, but I can't even say that because Ren 17 is kind of in between the chest. But you can just say that these 2 points are, on the neck, chest area in the front, and then Do 15 and 14 is, in the back at the nape of the neck. So there's 3 points for blood. So I believe I said UB 11 is T1, 1.5 soon, lateral, right, from the back of the midline, right? So this is one of the very first points we learn at the UB channel when we learn the back shoes. I believe I have this somewhere, the back shoe. Forget what notes I made for that one, but besides for the UB 11, we have stomach 37 and 39. This is repeated again from the last lower hussy, right? So you can think of it as like the C, but it would be 37 and 39. I don't have a way to remember this. You're going to just have to remember this. So when it comes to the chi, when it's in excess, you can think of it as since you're breathing, right? Your neck and then your lungs. You can think of stomach 9 and Ren 17. There's a fullness of chest, breathlessness, and red face. It's almost like if someone was choking you or like something heavy was on top of your chest. These are the symptoms you'll have. So get it? Excess. And then deficiency would be shortness of breath. You can't breathe, right? And then no desire to speak. Because you don't have the energy to be able to breathe and be able to speak. They both use an air passageway. So you can think of it that way. And then for the blood, feeling of getting larger, can't pinpoint, but you're feeling unwell. And then deficiency is you actually your body feeling getting smaller, but you also can't pinpoint where you're feeling unwell. So these are the same. Just not for blood. When it's in excess, you feel larger, and deficiency, you feel like your body's getting smaller. Now for food and marrow, we have 2 points. So food of no surprise. There are 2 stomach points. Stomach 30 and stomach 36. Stomach 36 was repeated from the last slide, from the lower C points. These are 3 soon down, of course, right? And then, of course, stomach 30, it's actually aligned with Ren 2, which is 5 soon down from the umbilicus. So this is the umbilicus, and it's 5 soon. It's pretty much the last, right there. The only difference is that Ren is right below the belly button, and for stomach 30, it's actually 2 soon lateral from the midline. So it's in the superior border of the pubic symphysis, or Ren 2. That's where it's aligned. And then we have marrow. No surprise, marrow has some associations, of course, with dew. So that's why we have dew 16 and dew 20. We know that dew 20, it's in the midline of the head, right? The middle of the head. So there's 2 ways to measure this. So from the back of the head, it's 4 soon up from the headline. And then from the front, it's 5 soon up from the anterior headline. Now, dew 16, we went over this actually before. If you need the picture, you see the external occipital tuberance. So it's in the mid of the headline, midline of the head, again, but it's below the external occipital tuberance, and that's where this comes from. So dew 16, right, from the marrow, then dew 15 and 14 is for the chi, right? Because we know that dew 16 is right below the external occipital tuberance, but dew 15 is what? 0.5 soon below from dew 16. If you see the picture right here, right here. And it's at C1. And then we have dew 14, which is at below C7. Okay, so there's a lot of repeated points here. I'm not sure how you're going to remember them, but you're going to just have to memorize these. So when there's a lot of food in excess, you have full abdomen fullness. Of course, if you're deficient, you're hungry, but no desire to eat. And think of it as you don't have the feeling of wanting to eat because you don't even have the energy, but you are feeling hungry. So if you ever had this feeling before, that would be when you're deficient when it comes to food. And then for the marrow, when you're in excess, you're full of vigor and great strength. This is too much. You think of it as a marrow, like bone marrow, very rich, right? And then if it's not enough, or not enough marrow, right, being in quantity, you're going to feel dizziness, tinnitus, blurred vision, weak legs, and desire to lay. So you can think of it as you're going to get dizzy and tinnitus and blurred vision. You're going to start to have weak legs, and you're going to have a desire to want to lay. So you can kind of remember it that way, like that. But if any of these descriptions come up, it shouldn't be too difficult for you guys to match them up and say, is it chi, is it blood, or is it marrow, is it food? Okay, but that was the quick review for the 4 category C points.